What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring you another WNBA slate breakdown for the two-game WNBA slate on today. If you're new here and you were looking for WNBA content and you're enjoying what you see, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the stuff that I'm putting out. And also, drop a like if you are truly enjoying this content. It lets me know to continue to do these things. And I really do enjoy and I'm thankful for all the support you guys have been giving me on the channel. Thank you so much, so much. The subscriber count is growing, and I couldn't do any of this without any of you guys because it is greatly, really appreciated. Thank you so much. Yesterday, I'm gonna be very honest. I got my ass kicked on DraftKings. I did not stack the Lynx and Storm game, and that legit was just the nuts. Jewel Lloyd for her career high. Fee, she popped off. That game was kind of lower owned in the aspect of some of the pieces. Fee, she was pretty decently owned in a lot of the stuff that I was in. But Jewel Lloyd, Sammy, freaking Easy, all of them, they weren't quite highly owned. And of course, they popped off. Dorka, all the auxiliary pieces, Ivana, they popped off in that game. And of course, that was primarily due to the fact that the other two games were blowouts. They were washes. They were horrible games. The Fever completely got curb stomped by the Phoenix Mercury, who technically are one of the worst teams in the league. Fever have been playing much better. Would have expected this game to be close, but Brittany Griner, she had it going from the jump. Of course, Aaliyah Boston got in foul trouble. Her and Alyssa Smith. Alyssa played a little bit better than Boston, but I'll say it was pretty ticky-tacky fouls inside this Fever game. I didn't like what I was watching in that one. And then the New York League beating the Aces. Like I said from the jump on that game, I did not feel like you had to pay that $13K for Breanna Stewart. And it rang true. You did not need to play Breanna Stewart. She did not do what she could do at all. They held her in check. 16 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Was a wash of a game anyway from her. And then on the other side, same thing for A'ja Wilson. She didn't have to go supernova A'ja. She was pretty efficient in her time out there. Played very well. The Aces as a whole, they were locked in. They came to play from the jump. All of them were clicking on all cylinders, and it really started with Kelsey Plum. Plum was legit going at Vandersloot left and right, and she popped off, had a game. I did say this could be a Plum game, and sure enough, it was a Plum game. Chelsea Gray still got there. Of course, she did her thing like she always does. Jackie Young, as steady as you can be. And then, of course, lo and behold, Candace Parker, she actually makes her shot. She went 3 of 4 from 3, 6 of 12 all over from the field, had her rebounds, had her assists. She had herself a pretty decent game. Honestly, if you played her over A'ja Wilson, you weren't bad because the value was there. She technically hit her value spot over what A'ja was going to hit. But this game altogether, if you faded this and really just took maybe like one of the guards or something like that, you didn't do bad. And then primarily, if you went ahead and you stacked this game right here, which was just the nut. It was a good game. I watched it. It was a really great game. Amazing. I will say I fell for the Jonah Holmes. She started, thought it was great value. She's been playing great and well. I said, okay, yeah, cool. I'm going to go there. Played her, and of course, foul. She could not stay on the court at all to save her life. So she sunk a lot of lines that I had going for me. And then, of course, Sammy. I said I'm not going to play Sammy. I'm not falling for that trap. She can't stay hot for long like that. Man, Sammy, she's a streaky shooter. Sure enough, she goes 5 of 7. She was hitting some crazy behind threes, crazy shots. I was like, yep, I hate Sammy. I hate her. I mean, she's a good player. I don't hate her like that, but it's just that was just completely a wash for me over there. If it was not for the fact of FanDuel, which if you guys, I put out a core for FanDuel, I put out a player pool for both sites. My player pool was the same for both sites, and that will always be. My player pool is the exact same for both sites. My core, all that was up, and if you looked at the notes and everything that I had on there for my stuff, you might have not did too bad over there on FanDuel. I know I myself, I took down a couple of things. Of course, I'm in the higher contest where it's like there's not too much on FanDuel anyway, but it was decent. I played the $33, the $25 winner take all, and some other small things. Cashed in everything over there on FanDuel. Luckily, I pretty much kind of stacked this later-ish game. Easy and Diamond Miller, they popped off, took me home over there. Nalissa Smith, her just coming in, being able to do a little bit, definitely helped me a lot. Wnba getting that blowout run definitely helped. And then just having Dorka in that OT game, that of course helped me as well. So didn't do bad over there on FanDuel. FanDuel made up for the lapse of judgments that I had over there on DraftKings. So if not winning on one side, at least was able to win on the other side. So that was good to see that over there. If you guys, I don't necessarily cover FanDuel every single time. I break down the slates just because, one, I really do hate FanDuel. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate FanDuel. But I do, you can take the notes and stuff that I'm giving you for DraftKings and apply them over there to FanDuel at the same time. A lot of the value pieces that we're looking at on DraftKings is the same kind of value over there on FanDuel as well. I will continue to put out cores for FanDuel as long as I'm playing. If I'm playing it, you will see a core for it. If there's no core for it up there on the Patreon, that means I'm not playing that site that day. But 9 times out of 10, I will always have DraftKings because that's the site that I play primarily on. FanDuel, if I don't like it, honestly, I am a person that will not play due to the fact that I do not like what it is, the pricing or something like that. And I'll be straight up honest with you. I will not force. I've learned that in my, 5-6 years of playing DFS. Don't force it if you ain't feeling it. And last night, I felt really good about DraftKings. And it, curb stomp, man, curb stomp. But all right, that's enough bullcrap intro. Let's get to today's slate. Matter of fact, let's go on another rant. Whoever made the WNBA schedule this season needs to be smacked, slapped, all of the above, because this is ridiculous. We just literally watched both of these teams play 2 days ago. You're giving us one game slates on Mondays and off days and stuff like that. Teams aren't playing for weeks on end and all this other crap. But yet, you telling me you cannot shift up the schedule enough to where we're not going to have to see the exact same team back to back again. Ridiculous. I freaking hate it. It's stupid. We've just seen this. It literally, it's no fun. This is no fun breaking this down because I just watched these teams play and we're gamblers. Let's get to it. All right, injury report for the Washington Mystics. Of course, Shakira Austin, she's still out. Lee Ming, she's overseas. Tolliver, I don't know what's going on with Tolliver. I think she's just coaching, and she's just literally sitting there on the sidelines picking up a paycheck. But all of them are out. Same starters for the Washington Mystics. Tina Hawkins, of course, she's going to start for Shakira Austin. So no surprise, no shock there. Going over to Atlanta, Ari McDonald, looks like they got her as... Yeah, she's unlikely. She ain't playing. Same thing for Rupert. She's not playing, so same starters for over here. The biggest thing that we got to pay attention to is the fact that they took my girl Haley Jones out of the starting lineup, and they put Danielle Robinson in. Now, Danielle, she picked up some pretty quick fouls and stuff. Didn't look too hot in the starting lineup, but they might roll her back out there again. Still, Danielle doesn't really play too many minutes anyway, so keep an eye out for that. Of course, we'll have that since that's the first game, but it will be interesting to know if they're going to run back with Danielle Robinson starting or if they're going to go back with my girl Haley. So pay attention to that news right there. Going over here to the Sparks. Lexi Brown is still out. She's sick. I'm starting to become under the assumption that Lexi Brown might be pregnant, because honestly, it doesn't make any sense. This is going on almost 3 weeks of her being out with a sickness. Same thing for Jessica Shepard. Honestly, I don't know if Jessica Shepard has a boyfriend, husband, or anything like that. I don't know if Lexi Brown has a boyfriend, husband, or anything like that. But I'm really just starting to come to the conclusion that they might just be pregnant, because it doesn't make any sense what kind of sickness you got that's keeping you out this long. If it's not COVID and it's not the flu, I mean, God forbid. I mean, I don't want any type of real sickness to them, but it's kind of crazy that we haven't seen these players in quite some time. Clarendon, she's still out. Clouden, she's out. And then going over to the Sky side, they're still without Gardner, still without Harrison and Ruthie. So same starters, all that good stuff, same things like we saw last time. Going over to the King, DraftKings, a site that spanked my behind yesterday, but I still be winning that money over here on it. If you guys want to come over here and join me on DraftKings, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. Breaking it down, going ahead, starting with the Washington Mystics. Of course, we saw out the jump, with no Shakira Austin, Elena EDD, her stock goes up pretty much because her rebounds, they go up. Her blocks, all that other stuff, her scoring, all that went up. And it helps that it was going up against the Dream, who is not a bad matchup for her. Now, the Mystics are on the road. They don't play too hot on the road normally. Shockingly, they blew them out. I honestly did not expect for them to blow out the Dream. So today, I know the Dream are going to adjust. I would expect this to be a much closer game than what we had last time. Speaking of, let's go ahead. Let's see. The total for today is a 164.5 and it's 3-point spread. Hopefully, it can stay as a 3-point spread and not be anything crazy for a blowout. But of course, we can go right back to Elena Delle Donne sitting at 11-2. Right now, your top fours that you got to worry about paying for today is, of course, good between her and NECA. NECA sitting at 12K, EDD sitting at 11-2. I'll let you guess which one's going to be more higher owning cash games. If you don't know, then of course it's going to be EDD. She's cheaper and she's pretty consistent. We know that what's going to be what. She has a pretty good matchup. The usage is going to be there. Boom, EDD. Cash game safe. And, of course, regular lineup safe. Can run right back to her. Sykes, as we've been saying, Sykes has been playing some very good ball over these last couple games. Now, she flipped it last game and went off for her assist. Didn't do too much on her rebound. Still was pretty proficient in regards to her scoring. She's doing it all around. I like Sykes once again. We could still attack guards going up against the Dream. And Sykes, she's just right there in that spot. Still getting her steals a game, the blocks, the defense, everything. She's stuffing the stat sheet all around, sitting at 9.9. She's the highest priced guard on today's slate. Now, if you don't want to go with Sykes, I definitely understand that because there's some merit to, okay, you're the highest priced guard. Maybe I don't want to pay 9.9, considering that you've gone over 30 fantasy points in your last 5 3 times. Maybe this might be the dud that we get for you. Maybe you might come back down to earth a little bit, and it might be a little bit harder for you to pay off that price, considering she's jumped from 8 something up to 9.9. This is where we can come down and get the value and go down to Cloud, who has a similar floor and a pretty good ceiling just as much as Cloud. The only thing with, just as much as Sykes. The only thing with Cloud is that if she's not scoring out there, which she doesn't have to all the time, she normally doesn't. She's more of the playmaker. She'll play a little bit of defense. She'll get some rebounds and stuff like that. But we do know she can't pop off. As you've seen, she had that ceiling game, 52.5 going up against New York Liberty. I'm not going to say that's what she's going to come out here and do against the Dream, but I will expect around that 25 to 30 as fantasy points, and I don't mind coming down to Cloud, or you can come down a little bit further and go down here to Atkins. Atkins popped off in that game for 34.25, and the Dream do allowed quite a bit of fantasy points to opposing shooting guards, which is what Ariel Atkins plays. I do not mind going back to that. She shot very well from 3 or 4. She's heating up. She's very hot. This is kind of like the Sammy Whitcomb thing that we got going on right here, but this is going on with Ariel Atkins. She's hot right now. I don't mind riding that hot hand. She looks like she's playing some pretty good ball. So, of course, this game is away. Looking at her last away game, she shot, 24 points and 4 rebounds, 6 or 7 from 3. I don't mind that at all from her, sitting at 7.9. I will probably take a chance on Atkins today if I'm not going to pay up all the way for Sykes, or depending on how my lineup shakes out. But Atkins and Cloud, I definitely do feel like you can probably, I feel pretty safe playing them in some cash games today. And Sykes, she's going to be the oddball just because of the price. She's not a bad play, but it's the price, depending on how you want to build out your lineup. So we got to find that value on the slate somewhere. Tina Hawkins, I just go ahead and say slide her into your lineup, sitting at 5'8". We know she's going to start at center. She's going to be out there. She rebounded very well last game. Shot very well as well. 13, 11, 1, 1. You're going against Cheyenne Parker defense along with all the other rotational bigs that they're putting out there for you. We know she's going to at least play about 30 minutes a game. I like that for her at 5'8". That's pretty much a value lock for me on today's slate. Misha Hines-Allen, she actually played pretty decent minutes out there and didn't look bad. Did not look bad at all. 16 points, 1 block, 3 rebounds. If you want to get the $100 savings, if you want to go GPP, Misha Hines-Allen is not cash safe. GPP right there, not cash safe in all way, shape, or form, unless you're expecting a blowout or something like that. But this is playing on the ATL floor. I expect ATL to keep it close. I'm not going to mess with that when I could just come up to get Tina Hawkins right here at the 5'8". That's just that. Oh, SWK, I really don't ever mess with her again. This was blowout run right here for her, 22 minutes. She put up 21.5 fantasy points, 11 points, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. You can go there, you can mess with that, but I'm not really personally going to that at 4.7. I don't hate it, but it's not something that you got to go to. And then Zali B, we said, of course, with Austin being out, she's going to get some burner run. She got a little bit of run, 12 minutes, and she only put up 8.75 fantasy points. If you think that Hawkins or something like that can get in foul trouble, or if you want to predict a blowout, definitely you can go back to Zali. But of course, I will say for Misha Hines-Allen down, I'm not really looking at too much lower right here for the Fever on today's slate. Again, Abby Myers blowout run, not messing with that. Going over to the Dream side, this is the side where we got to think about it. They have lost 3 straight. Odds have it, and this is typical just gambling stuff from stuff I've noticed over the years, a team is going to bounce back, especially on their home court, coming off a loss, facing the same opponent. This is one of those home homes. This game will be close. This is going to actually be closer because the Dream will play much better at home and coming off that loss, and this is the exact same team that they're playing again. The Dream have to adjust. Mystics, they're going to go out there and probably run out the same game plan that they had, knowing that the Dream are going to play a little bit tougher than what they did in that first game, but the Dream are going to make their adjustments that they have to make in order to win this game. Cheyenne Parker went out there, and we figured with Austin being out, Cheyenne Parker, she might have a little bit of an easier matchup considering it's not going to be the same defensive intensity that the Washington Mystics have had in the past. She went out there, dropped 23 points, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 8 rebounds. So it was kind of the only one that was able to get anything going for the Dream last game. I don't mind going right back to her. Yes, she's sitting at 10-5, but the production that she was actually able to go out there and put up, and looking at her last 5, she's been pretty good when she's actually getting the minutes. That's the problem that I have with Cheyenne Parker. It's just her minutes. Her minutes are just up and down all over the place. Again, I expect a closer game. She didn't do too bad in regards to her fouls. I do like Cheyenne Parker here on today's slate. I definitely feel like there's some merit to paying up for her if you want to. Now, coming out here to the guards, Alicia Gray is going to be, of course, my cash safe play whenever it comes down to it. She played, 36 minutes in that last game. Of course, the shot was falling, but really not too much else was going for her. If she can get her three-point shot to fall as well, she'll be able to blow open the slate. Rainey Howard is the one that you got to actually decide, am I going to take a chance on her today? Now, looking at her history going up against the Washington Mystics, it's not pretty, because she's only had one game where she's popped off for 37 fantasy points. Now, the great thing is that was a game at home. That was her first time playing against them on May the 20th, early in the season. The question is going to be, can she possibly do that again here? I do believe that she's going to want to bounce back. She got going more in the second half of the game. First half didn't have literally almost no fantasy production at all from Rainey. They had her locked down for that game in the first half. She got loose a little bit towards the second half. She took 9 field goal attempts, only made 3, 8 points. I would expect a bigger game from Rainey here in this spot. I don't hate her for GPPs. I really feel like everyone's going to sleep on her just looking at the history and what she's done. But I'm going to say the Washington Mystics have had her number. She is firmly a GPP play. If she can get going, this game will be, of course, very close, and the Dream will have a chance to win. But they got to get her going. I'm going to go safer, and I'm going to play my girl Alicia Gray because I know she's going to get the minutes and run. She has the ball in the hand, and she does quite a bit and a lot. And she's, of course, more consistent for me. So I will be going back to Gray, but Rainey, of course, is definitely your GPP play if you want to go there. Haley Jones, if she's on the bench and then sitting at 6'4", let me see her come down to 5K before I go back to the Haley Jones experiment. Of course, she's just been all over the place, really nothing that we're liking right there. Nia Coffey, she popped off in that last game, dropped 26 fantasy points, 14 points, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Did not look bad out there in her minutes, 23 minutes. It's a toss-up of what coffee am I going to get? What coffee am I going to be drinking on the day? I'm not too sure. I'm going to say she's GPP, of course, because she's sitting at 6'2". Maybe there might be some forwards in the other game that I want to go to, someone else I want to take a chance on that's just as inconsistent as Coffee is, and I'd rather take a chance on them considering the matchup. But Nia Coffee, I will not say she won't be in a player pool, possibly possible for today, but not something that I feel like I got to run to. Now, Monique Billings sitting at 5K. I like what I've been seeing from Billings. I still feel like Billings can come out there and drop 20-plus fantasy points if she gets it going. She didn't take any shots. This is what I want us to look at. She didn't take any shots. She got through the free throw line, of course. So, of course, she was getting fouled. She went 4 or 4 from the free throw line, 4 points, 6 rebounds. That's all she did. Now, imagine if she actually was able to get some shots to go down along with getting to the free throw line and maybe was able to get her blocker steal that she normally was able to get a game. Now she's putting up more fantasy points. I do like Billings here at 5K, and I know over on FanDuel, I want to say Billings is sitting at 4K. I don't mind that value for Billings over there because we do have to find some type of value on this slate in order to fit in some of the big pieces over there on FanDuel as well. So Billings, definitely a play I'll be looking at over on FanDuel. I do not hate that or mind that for her on the slate. Danielle Robinson, like I said, she got into foul trouble, but still was able to pretty much put up a fantasy point per minute out there. Sitting at, 4.8. It's another value piece. I'll say if they start Danielle again, I wouldn't mind going back to her if they start her. I just really feel like the fouls is what kind of cut into her minutes because she got yanked pretty quick, of course, just picking up the ticky-tacky fouls. If she's not getting that, maybe she can go out there and actually have a pretty decent game. She shot, 2 of 2 from 3, so 2 of 6. And then if she also has a better shooting night, she might actually do more. But 6 points, 1 steal, 6 assists. So her playmaking is there, and we know she can score if she actually can get it going. I don't mind going back to Danielle Robinson at 4.8. That's pretty good value. So if you don't want to pay up for the big guards in this, and maybe you feel better about the Sparks in the Sky game, I definitely can see some merit in doing that. I do not hate that. Asia Dur, not messing with that. Hillman, not messing with that as well. The one I do have some interest in is going to be Letitia. I think I'm saying this right. She's been getting her minutes going up over the past couple games. She played 17 minutes, of course, in a blowout, but she's still kind of putting up a fantasy point per minute out there while she's been out there. Now, I'm not too sure exactly what's going on in regards to her minutes and if they're going to just keep riding up, but someone I do have an eye on, she'll be in my GPP player pool because I'll consider her just because she's cheap, and if she's going to be getting the burner run, she's, to me, looks like she plays like that backup center role. I want to say she's like 6'3", so she should be technically out there playing centerish or power forward for them, and you kind of need that out there going up against the Washington Mystics with Leda Deladon, Tina Hawkins, Misha Hines Allen, all of them out there anyway. But I do have some interest in her on today's slate, so maybe a cheapy value play you possibly could look at, but nothing I would go too heavy on right there because she might go out there and get you a 0. She might not play, so you do have that. Going over to the second game on the slate, of course, man, I swear, I feel like we see the Sparks almost like 2-3 times a week. They're like the one team that plays quite a bit of games. If you guys enjoy this content, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you guys do not miss any of the stuff that we're putting out. And if you want to see my player pool, my cores, everyone else's stuff over here at the No Days Off family, BK, my boy, he be crushing it over there on the Prize Picks, No Days Off, Sports Battle, all the prop sites and everything. And also on the DFS side, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $10, and I promise you make that back within your first week. Going over here, the Sparks, we already know what it is with Lexi Brown being out. You got NECA, you got Canada. Pick which one you want to play, who's going to fit into your lineup, and just call it a day. Now, this is where we come down to. We look at Derek and Wnba. She has the matchup going up against Elena Smith and Elizabeth Williams. She has the matchup. Can she just produce is the problem that we got. She played 21 minutes in that game, pretty much put up a fantasy point per minute. She had quite a bit of boneheaded turnovers and fouls. That is really what really messed her up in that game. The game was a blowout. Of course, it was a wash because the Sparks, they kind of ran away with it. Again, this is a Sky playing at home. I will expect the Sky to make their adjustments and play better at home. Just like I will expect Derek and Wnba to please learn from your mistakes and what you just went out there and did and play better. Now, I'm going to say this because look at what she did going up against the Dallas Wings. The first game, she played 21 minutes and only gave us 18.5 fantasy points. The second time they played the Wings, she played 32 minutes and gave us 24.5 fantasy points. Now, I'm not saying that that's what she's going to go out here and do and duplicate the exact same thing, but let's look at what she did going up against the Seattle Storm. The first game, she played 9 minutes. Only put up 9.25 fantasy points. Second game, she played 25 minutes, and she put up 17 fantasy points. So maybe these back-to-back home-to-home type games might not be too bad for Derek and Wnba. I will have some interest in her just because the DVP metrics in the matchup does say that this is a good spot for Derek and Wnba to go out here and actually have a pretty good game. I do have some interest in her, and I will have some interest in Azura Stevens, who, for some reason, is just continuously being yo-yoed with her minutes, the time, and everything. This is a revenge matchup for her, and Stevens just hasn't had that pop-off game going up against the Sky just yet. 13 minutes in the first game gave us 9.5 fantasy points. 18 minutes in the second game only gave us 12.75. Again, if Stevens can get the shot to fall, she will blossom and just do wonderful things. She just has not had that chance to get that done yet. I'm still going to beat the drum and ride the train because she's another unicorn that's out there, and I just haven't learned my lesson. That's just going to be honest. I would rather play Azura Stevens than going up here playing fat foot, big foot behind Chenny. No disrespect, but Chenny goes out there and makes some weird plays, weird mistakes, and I just can't stand watching it sometimes. But she did come out there, play 22 minutes to drop 17.75 fantasy points. Didn't look bad in her time, but I do not trust her to save my life. She's just like the Sammy Whitcomb of me for today. With that being said, you definitely might want to play Chenny because I'm not going to be on her. I'm not going to touch that. Looking at her history going up against the Sky, let's see what Chenny's done, if she even deserves to be put into the mention. All right, last season, she dropped in 30 minutes, 41 fantasy points, but she's not starting. And she started in that game. You see the S? She started. And then in this game that went to overtime, she played 19 minutes and gave us 19 fantasy points. Let's see, 15 fantasy points, 9, 10, 25. Looks like we got a mixing pot. These games she started, of course, that was when she was on the Sun. So looking at it, I mean, it's a mixed pot of what we can get from Chenny. And like I said, I never really trust her. I don't like to trust her. When she comes in, supposedly she plays the center position. I didn't realize she was actually taller than her sister. It doesn't look like it whenever they stand side by side, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Chenny, GFP play, not really going to mess with that or go there. It really is going to be Stevens, Wnba, Canada, and NECA for me. And then, of course, you got to consider Carly Samuelson sitting at 5'3". Went out there. She played her butt off out there. 29 minutes, gave us 21.5 fantasy points, 11 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Did not look bad at all. She actually surprised me with how well she was out there playing. Definitely worth a look going right back to her here in this spot. Looking at what she's done going up against the Sky, in 19 minutes she had 11 fantasy points in the first game, and then in these other two she really just didn't play the minutes in time. So definitely worth going to. This right here, this is also why I'm going to be on Stevens, because like I said, she's the power forward that starts for them between her and Wnba, and they're giving up 21.5 fantasy points to the power forward starters. So that's why I really do have some interest in Stevens and Wnba, because both of them, they rotate, slide in between that spot right there for them. Coming out here, Jasmine Thomas, Henderson, Zaya. I'm not messing with none of them. Their minutes, their stuff is flip-floppy. Jasmine Thomas, she didn't look bad in that last game. She played 17 minutes, which is the second most minutes that she's played since coming back from injury. If she can get it going again, I wouldn't mind going to her. Definitely some interest, but I need to see her actually truly get her footing and look more decent than what she has already. Burrow, Zaya, they're not really playing minutes and burn, so no point in looking at them. Going over here to the Sky. Marbury, she's at home. Marbury's playing at home, and we know Marbury plays much better at home than she does on the road. She put up 28.75 fantasy points in that game, shot 5 of 11, 2 of 5 from 3. Definitely worth going right back to Marbury here on the slate, because I do not personally expect Courtney Williams to pop off for what she did. In 28 minutes, this girl dropped 43.75 fantasy points, 21 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 9 rebounds. Of course, she went back to being a force on the glass, just grabbing everything in sight. Was unstoppable out there, honestly. But looking at her game log and her history over the past couple games, last time going up against them, 24 minutes, she only dropped 18 fantasy points. And then last season, in 23 and 19 minutes, 15 and 19 fantasy points. Yeah, she had that big game back in 2021, but that was not, of course, with the team that she's currently on. So just looking at it, I don't mind going to Courtney Williams, but I will be prioritizing going up to like Marbury on today's slate. Elena Smith, she's right back into the same spot that she was in last time. She really struggled in regards to scoring. She looked a little frustrated out there, was picking up some ticky-tacky fouls, and they called some of her blocks fouls on her, which I really did feel like they were actual blocks. I will be going right back to Elena Smith. I do feel like this is a spot we can go right back to her on today's slate as well. The rebounding, the upside, everything that she does defensive-wise is there for her. I do like her at 9.5. I don't hate going to that. So if you don't want to pay for Cheyenne Parker, come down to Elena Smith. Same thing for Elizabeth Williams. If she can get it going earlier than later, she definitely is worth it, especially if she's going to be playing 30-plus minutes. The block upside is definitely there for her. And if she actually can go out there and score and rebound, she will be it. But unless she's doing that, she's really kind of just risky. I will rather just pay up for Elena Smith because she's been more productive in her time out there. Copper is going to be the wild card on if we can get a good Kalia Copper game. She's playing at home, coming off of a bad game. She had 14 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. We know for Copper to have a big game, she has to get the scoring going. If not, it's not really going to be there for us. She shot 4 of 13. Of course, she's playing at home again. Definitely worth a look. GPP for me. Like I said, I'd rather go ahead and pay her for Marbury just because she stuffs the stat sheet all around, and then the 3-point bonus and everything that we can get from Marbury, I do like that from her as well. And then honestly, they did find some success with Copper. Whenever she got messed up on Canada, she was taking it to her. If they can get that type of matchup and that run again, definitely I will consider Copper. She's going to be in the player pool, but not someone that I feel like you have to play. Dana Evans, I want to see her price come back down to the 5K range before I even worry about trying to play her again. They bumped her up to 6'6" after being 6'3" and only putting up 15.75 fantasy points. I'm not even worried or looking to go there because I know she's a firecracker in regards to the scoring that she can produce for us, but not a spot that I feel like I have to go to Dana Evans. Birch, Parks, Cone, Soul, Anigwe, not worth going to. They're not really going to get that burner run again unless it's going to be another blowout, but the games are expected to be close. They're both 3-point spreads. So that's going to be my take on that right there. If you guys enjoyed all this content, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. My player pool, my course, everything will be up on site later on. So if you want to see that, check the links down in the description below for the Patreon. Don't forget the deposit match bonus that you can get for all these sites. I got all that listed down in the description below. I will try to get a price pick video out later. The board was not fully up when I looked at it. We actually didn't do too bad on price picks, if I'm being honest. Was not bad. The 2 pick that I gave out on stream, that hit. I know that hit straight out the gate. Freaking okay. So they finally got the full board up, so I can actually start digging into this. I will get a price picks video out for you guys shortly. With that being said, let your boy go ahead and go get this work done. It's your boy Zoe. Hopefully I see you guys in the green. Good luck.